I understand that you have a kind heart, but it is crucial to realize that not everyone you encounter will have the same intentions. Often we wish to see good in people and genuinely hope for the best, but without vigilance, we may end up hurt. There are many toxic individuals out there whose behaviors can have a subtle yet deeply damaging effect on us. Recognizing these subtle behaviors is key to protecting ourselves. Sometimes these behaviors are well hidden, making it easy to miss the signs until the damage is already done. Today, I want to share some of the more subtle indicators that you could be dealing with a toxic individual. They might seem caring one moment, but be secretly undermining you the next. The people you least expect, even those close to you, can often exhibit these traits, so it's important to remain attentive. In this video, we will talk about 9 of the signs that could reveal the presence of a toxic person in your life, and I'll provide suggestions on how to handle these situations when they arise. Remember, some individuals may seem supportive, but they're really competing with you. Keep that in mind as we start with the first sign. Number 1. Masking kindness with critique. Toxic people can disguise their criticism as helpful feedback. These individuals often begin by appearing kind, but if you listen closely, their remarks are laced with veiled insults or condescension. Imagine a friend who, under the guise of being honest with you, regularly makes remarks that belittle your efforts or subtly point out your flaws. For instance, they might say, "Oh, you did well, but it could have been much better if you had just tried harder." This kind of comment is a way to keep you feeling inadequate despite apparent praise. Their criticism is not meant to help, but to sow doubt about your abilities and keep you second-guessing yourself. Recognizing these disguised criticisms is the first step in ensuring that you are not allowing someone to harm your confidence under the pretense of being supportive. Toxic individuals often thrive on making you feel small, using kind-sounding words to undermine your achievements. They may also offer unsolicited advice in a way that makes you feel less capable. For example, you might share your excitement about completing a project, and instead of congratulating you, they offer advice on what you could have done better. This advice is not given out of genuine care, but rather to make you feel incompetent. The undermining doesn't stop there. They may also make a point to offer their help in a condescending manner, implying that you wouldn't be able to do it alone. If you consistently notice that someone's kindness leaves you feeling less confident, it's a strong indication that their intentions are not genuine. Toxic individuals often frame their actions as well-meaning, but they are intended to subtly erode your confidence, keeping you reliant on their supposed support. Number 2. Frequent one-upping. Have you ever been in a conversation where the other person always has a story that is somehow better than yours? This behavior is another subtle sign of toxicity. Such individuals have an unquenchable need to prove they are always superior. For example, if you mention you had a difficult day at work, they will respond by sharing an even more dramatic story about their struggles, as if to overshadow yours entirely. They consistently redirect the attention back to themselves, making you feel as though your experiences are insignificant compared to theirs. It's draining, as these individuals take away any opportunity for genuine connection, making everything about themselves instead of sharing the moment with you. The result, you may find yourself feeling exhausted and undervalued after these exchanges. These one-uppers will often use every opportunity to highlight how they are better or have it worse, as if it's a competition. It might be a friend who, when you mention you're tired from work, replies with how they worked twice as long and didn't even get a break. Even in moments where you're excited about something, like a promotion or a recent achievement, they turn it around to somehow diminish your success compared to their own past achievements. This constant comparison wears down your self-worth as you start feeling that your experiences are never enough. It's not a true friendship when someone constantly tries to put themselves ahead of you. It's important to recognize this behavior for what it is, an unhealthy need to feel superior at your expense. Toxic one-upping can also have more nuanced implications, often leading you to avoid sharing anything positive or negative in your life because you know it will always be diminished. You might find yourself dreading conversations with this person, knowing that anything you share will be disregarded or turned into a story about them. This behavior can make you feel invisible and unheard, further impacting your self-esteem and confidence. Over time, constantly being in the presence of someone who has to outdo you can lead you to question your own achievements and even whether they matter at all. It's crucial to acknowledge how draining these interactions are and consider if being around that person is really worth it. Number 3, fake empathy. Toxic people often pretend to be empathetic, but their actions reveal the truth. They may appear to be supportive, offering words of comfort during tough times, but these gestures often lack sincerity. For instance, a toxic coworker might pretend to sympathize with you after a mistake, only to later gossip about it to others. This feigned empathy is a tactic to seem like a friend, but their goal is usually self-serving, to gather information that can later be used against you, or to make themselves look better in comparison. The inconsistency between what they say and what they do is often a telltale sign. True empathy involves consistent support and care, not empty words followed by betrayal. Another example is a friend who listens to your problems and seems understanding at first, but then uses what they know against you later. They might bring up a personal struggle you shared during a disagreement, weaponizing your vulnerability to win an argument or make you feel worse. This false empathy is a manipulative tactic aimed at making you trust them just enough to let your guard down, allowing them to exploit your openness. Pay attention to how someone acts after showing empathy. If their actions don't align with their words, it's time to reassess whether they're truly a supportive person or just pretending to care. Toxic individuals who use fake empathy often do so to keep you feeling emotionally indebted to them. For example, they might say things like, "I understand how hard it must be for you," but when you actually need help, they're nowhere to be found. This inconsistency in behavior makes it hard to trust them, as they use their fake support only when it benefits them or when they need something from you. Over time, you may start to feel isolated and unsure of who to trust, as your emotional vulnerability has been exploited. True empathy is consistent, and it's backed by actions, not just empty promises or false reassurances. Number 4, undermining your achievements. Toxic individuals may not outright criticize your success, but instead they might subtly diminish your accomplishments. Imagine telling a friend about a recent success at work, and their response is something like, "Oh, that's nice, but it's really not that big of a deal, is it?" Such comments can make you feel like your hard work and achievements are trivial. They may also make backhanded compliments such as, "I'm surprised you managed to pull that off." This tactic chips away at your self-esteem, making you question the value of your accomplishments. Recognizing these subtle jabs for what they are is crucial to prevent someone from diminishing your sense of self-worth. This kind of toxic behavior often goes unnoticed because it comes under the guise of humor or honesty. They might say, "I'm just being honest," or "I'm just joking," to mask their true intention of making you feel small. They could also use comparison as a means to devalue your efforts, like saying, "Well, I guess anyone could do that if they had the time." The intent is to make you feel that your achievements aren't special, ultimately keeping you from celebrating your successes. If someone repeatedly downplays your efforts or makes you feel that nothing you do is significant, it's time to distance yourself from that relationship. Moreover, this undermining often extends beyond individual interactions and into public settings. Toxic people might downplay your accomplishments in front of others, making comments like, "Oh, they just got lucky," or implying that your success was due to external factors rather than your skill and effort. This public undermining serves to diminish how others see you as well, chipping away at your credibility and causing embarrassment. Over time, their constant minimizing of your successes can lead you to internalize their opinions, making you believe that maybe your accomplishments aren't that impressive after all. It's crucial to be aware of how these seemingly harmless comments affect your mental health and take the necessary steps to protect yourself. Number 5. Subtle exclusions. Another indicator of a toxic individual is how they handle social dynamics. Toxic people may leave you out of group plans or conversations in subtle ways, making you feel isolated or unwanted without explicitly saying so. They might say things like, "Oh, I thought you wouldn't be interested in joining us," or make plans in front of you without extending an invitation. Such behavior can leave you questioning your standing in the group or feeling like an outsider. It's a subtle but effective tactic to undermine your confidence and place themselves in a position of control. If you often feel left out or find yourself not being included without any explanation, it's time to re-evaluate your relationship with those individuals. This form of exclusion can extend to both personal and professional settings. Imagine working with a team where decisions are being made in private meetings to which you are never invited despite your role. The toxic individuals might make excuses such as, "We didn't think you needed to be involved," which leaves you feeling undervalued and unimportant. It could also happen with a friend group where plans are consistently made without your knowledge, and when you confront them, they respond with, "We thought you were busy." Over time, these patterns of subtle exclusion can significantly impact your confidence and create feelings of isolation. Recognizing this tactic allows you to protect yourself from the emotional toll it can take and find people who genuinely value your company. In addition, exclusion can also be used as a punishment for perceived slights. If a toxic person feels that you have wronged them in some way, even unintentionally, they may start excluding you from activities or conversations as a form of retribution. This behavior is meant to make you feel guilty and to manipulate you into seeking their approval. It's a power play designed to control your actions and make you constantly question your worth within the group. Identifying this pattern is key to breaking free from the emotional manipulation and finding environments where you are genuinely appreciated. Number 6. Passive-aggressive behavior. Toxic people often express hostility indirectly through passive-aggressive actions. They might forget to do something important for you or intentionally delay assistance under the guise of being overwhelmed. For example, if you ask a co-worker for help on a project, they might say they'll do it, but then continually forget or make excuses. This behavior is a way for them to express resentment without direct confrontation. It's often used to make you feel guilty for asking in the first place, subtly making you believe that you're a burden. The inconsistency between what they say and what they do is a significant red flag, indicating that their intentions are not as pure as they appear. Another common passive-aggressive tactic is backhanded compliments. Toxic individuals might say something like, "You look great today, much better than usual." These types of comments are intended to sound like praise, but are actually meant to make you feel insecure. They may also engage in subtle sabotaging, such as accidentally forgetting to include you in an important email or not passing on crucial information, all while acting innocent. This behavior is a covert way of undermining your success and making you doubt yourself. Passive-aggressive actions are designed to frustrate you without giving you clear grounds for confrontation, leaving you feeling confused and powerless. Recognizing these behaviors for what they are allows you to confront or distance yourself appropriately. Another manifestation of passive aggressiveness is the silent treatment. Toxic individuals may refuse to communicate with you, ignoring your attempts at conversation as a way to punish you. This is a particularly manipulative tactic because it leaves you uncertain of what you've done wrong and forces you to seek their approval or forgiveness. The silent treatment is about control. By withholding communication, they maintain the power in the relationship, making you feel anxious and desperate to resolve the situation. It's essential to recognize this behavior for what it is, a manipulative way to assert dominance and create an imbalance in the relationship. Number 7. Using sarcasm as a weapon. Sarcasm can be light-hearted and fun, but toxic individuals often use it as a subtle weapon to put others down. They may disguise cruel remarks as jokes and then accuse you of being overly sensitive if you express discomfort. For instance, they might make a hurtful comment about your appearance or abilities and then brush it off by saying, "Relax, I'm just kidding." The truth is, these remarks are meant to hurt, and the joking context is merely a cover. By dismissing your feelings when you react, they effectively invalidate your emotions and undermine your self-esteem. If you consistently feel that someone's jokes are at your expense and their humor leaves you feeling small, it's time to recognize that their sarcasm is a form of toxic behavior. Toxic sarcasm often focuses on your insecurities. Imagine sharing a goal you're excited about, like wanting to start a new hobby, and the toxic person responds with, "Oh, good luck with that. You're not exactly known for sticking with things." These jokes are intended to make you doubt yourself and discourage you from pursuing new endeavors. If you confront them, they may say something like, "I'm just trying to keep things real," as if they're doing you a favor by bringing you down. This kind of sarcasm is not about humor, it's about control and belittlement. Healthy relationships should uplift and support you, not leave you feeling smaller or less capable. Recognizing this behavior allows you to avoid people who disguise their toxicity behind humor. Sarcasm used in this way can also extend to belittling your personal choices or achievements in a public setting. Toxic individuals often make sarcastic remarks about your lifestyle, career, or appearance in front of others, making you the butt of the joke. This public humiliation is meant to erode your confidence and ensure that you feel embarrassed and small. When you try to defend yourself, they may accuse you of being unable to take a joke, further isolating you and undermining your right to feel upset. Identifying sarcasm that crosses the line is crucial, as it highlights someone's intention to belittle rather than bond. Number 8. Giving with strings attached. Toxic individuals may present themselves as generous, but there are always strings attached. They may do something for you, but later they will expect something in return and use the favor as leverage. For example, a friend might lend you money or help you move, only to later bring it up whenever they want you to do something for them, regardless of your own situation. They'll remind you of their generosity and make you feel obligated. Genuine kindness is unconditional, but toxic people use generosity to control and manipulate. It's essential to recognize this behavior and not allow their so-called kindness to become a tool of manipulation. They might also guilt-trip you if you're unable to return the favor, saying things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me." This manipulative approach ensures that you feel indebted to them, regardless of whether their initial gesture was actually done out of genuine care or just to create leverage. It can even escalate to them using these past favors in front of others to make themselves look selfless while making you feel like you're taking advantage of them. True acts of kindness don't require repayment, nor are they brought up repeatedly to gain power over you. Understanding the true motive behind someone's generosity can help you protect yourself from feeling unnecessarily indebted. This type of giving often results in an unhealthy imbalance in relationships, where the toxic person constantly reminds you of what they've done for you to maintain control. They might say things like, "You owe me," whenever they need something, and if you can't comply, they make you feel ungrateful. This tactic is particularly damaging because it makes you question your own sense of fairness and decency, trapping you in a cycle of obligation. A relationship that is based on keeping score of who owes what is not a genuine one. Understanding when someone's giving comes with strings attached is key to freeing yourself from these emotional debts. Number 9. Playing the martyr. One of the most subtle yet manipulative tactics of a toxic individual is playing the martyr. They make a point of highlighting how much they sacrifice for others, often in a way that implies you owe them something for their suffering. For instance, they might frequently remind you of how they've put up with things for your sake, or how they're always the one making sacrifices in the relationship. This behavior is intended to instill guilt and make you feel indebted to them. Over time, this can create an unhealthy dynamic where you constantly feel like you need to repay their kindness, even though their actions are a way to control you rather than genuinely support you. Recognizing this martyr complex for what it is can help you step out of their emotional trap and assert your independence. Martyrs often make a show of their sacrifices in public, talking about all they do for you in front of others to ensure that everyone knows how much they've supposedly given up. This is done not just to manipulate you, but also to gain sympathy and admiration from others, positioning themselves as the good guy in every situation. They may say things like, "I've done so much for you, and this is how you treat me," to make you feel guilty and indebted. This tactic makes it difficult for you to voice your own needs, as you're constantly reminded of their sacrifices. If someone in your life uses their so-called sacrifices to manipulate you into compliance, it's important to recognize this as a form of control rather than genuine care. Moreover, martyrs will often keep a mental tally of everything they've done for you and bring it up whenever it suits them. If you ever push back or assert your needs, they will quickly remind you of all the sacrifices they've made, implying that you should feel ashamed for not being more accommodating. This kind of emotional manipulation makes it extremely challenging to establish healthy boundaries, as you're made to feel guilty for even wanting your needs to be met. Recognizing that genuine sacrifices are made without expectation of repayment is crucial in understanding how a toxic martyr operates. If you've noticed any of these 9 signs in someone around you, it might be time to reconsider your relationship with that person. Subtle toxicity can be harder to spot than outright negative behavior, but its impact can be just as damaging. Protecting your peace and emotional well-being is vital. Remember, no one deserves to feel belittled, excluded, or manipulated. Set boundaries and, when necessary, walk away. Toxic behavior is often cyclical, and without intervention, it can persist indefinitely. By recognizing these subtle signs, you can take proactive steps to distance yourself from those who do not have your best interests at heart. Life is too short to be spent in the company of those who make you feel small. Let me know if there are other signs of toxic individuals you've experienced. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it to the end, leave a comment saying, "Protecting our peace." Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights into understanding the dynamics around us and building healthier relationships. Let's continue to grow, support each other, and prioritize our well-being. Until next time.